Good morning. I think there's still some seats in the back and seats over here if you haven't had a chance to find one yet. There's also an overflow room kind of over that way. We are very, very happy to have everybody here. Let's say good morning. Good morning. That's great. Everybody's had their coffee. So this is the 35th year we have had the privilege of sponsoring this symposium. This was begun by what is now called the Martin Harris chapter of AFA in 1984. This event has become and has emerged as one of the key professional development events for the airmen, and we are proud that our theme this year is Innovation, Future Force Faster. Innovation has been at the heart of air and space power for over a century, and it's the cornerstone of making our Air Force the strongest force on the planet in space, air, and cyber operations. But as you will hear, innovation has not always been at the heart of the 2,320 pages of the Federal Acquisition Regulation, or the 1,702 pages of the FAR Supplement, in all 4,000 pages and 6.4 pounds of directions, which along with several hundred statutes can slow innovation to a real crawl. The situation reminds me of one of President Ronald Reagan's favorite sayings. I should note that President Reagan was one of the founders of the Air Force Association, one of his early officers. So Reagan used to say in tough times, he would tell his staff to be like the optimist who, when faced with a room piled to the ceiling with horse manure, clambered to the top of the pile, dropped to his knees, and began gleefully digging out scoop after scoop of poop with his bare hands. When asked, "What do you think you're doing?" the optimist replied, "With all this manure, there must be a pony in here somewhere." So we're here this week to try to find that pony in the acquisition and innovation world, and we have many speakers who hopefully will guide us in that direction. For the next 2 days, we'll look at innovation from many different perspectives. Our speakers will give their insights on innovation through a variety of viewpoints, from young airmen to Silicon Valley and aerospace industry leaders to Air Force senior leaders. When you leave, we hope you'll be excited about continuing innovation as occurred last year. Our hope is that you'll remain excited and you'll do innovative things, and you hopefully will bring them back to Spark Tank next year. So let me add a few thanks at this point. First, I want to thank Secretary Wilson and General Goldfein for their enthusiastic support of this program and of the Air Force Association in general. They join us with the goal of making sure this event brings you new ways of thinking that can make all of us better airmen, no matter in what capacity we serve. We also could not do what we do without the generous support of our friends in industry. Please be sure to visit the exhibition hall. There is a lot of really cool stuff out there, and meet our industry partners and see the latest products and services they are bringing to our Air Force today and tomorrow. As their corporate logos flip on the screen, please join me in thanking all of our corporate sponsors with a round of applause. Now, it's for a sad moment. Earlier this month, we lost a great leader in General George Mullner. General Mullner was the chairman of the Air Force Association. He was also a much decorated pilot and an acquisition pro. General Spencer will have some more to say about George. We also lost two key leaders here in Orlando. First, the Marty Harris, and second, Tommy Harrison. Both of these men devoted an enormous amount of time over many, many decades to making this event a success. We will miss them, and we thank them and their families, and we thank the Orlando team for their service. Now, let me turn the podium over to General Spencer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Airmen. Good morning, Airmen. Good morning, Airmen. Thank you. I want to add my welcome to that of Secretary Peters. I also want to thank Secretary Wilson, General Goldfein, and Chief Wright for their support over these last 35 years. If it wasn't for them, this event would not be possible. So we really thank our Air Force leadership. Thank you. And because I can say this, having been the 37th Vice Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Wilson. Nobody ever thanks the Vice Chief of Staff, so thank you for being here, General Wilson. As mentioned by Secretary Peters, it is with profound regret and a deep sense of loss. And let me add that very much a personal loss for me, that we recognize the passing of Lieutenant General George Molnar, a true giant in our Air Force and with our Air Force Association. General Molnar's Air Force career is legendary. He did it all. He was a fighter pilot, test pilot, and weapons instructor. He flew 690 combat missions in Vietnam and another 50 in Desert Storm as the JSTARS deployment commander. He served at the command and headquarters level in a variety of assignments, some of which were highly classified. He culminated his distinguished Air Force career as the principal deputy in the office of the Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Acquisition, where he was responsible for the management of all Air Force acquisition programs. After retiring from the Air Force, he went on to be the Senior Vice President of Air Force Systems at Boeing, where he was also president of Boeing's Phantom Works. General Molnar also was passionate about his work in the Air Force Association, serving on a broad array of committees as the association's vice chairman of the board for aerospace education. Most recently, he served as AFA's chairman of the board. His selfless service to our Air Force and to our association will be sorely missed. While here in Orlando, I encourage you to make the most of the time we have together over the next 2 days. We know you will find the sessions, the exhibits, and the personal interactions to be richly rewarding. We consider this to be one of the premier professional education events for airmen. You will learn about some of the latest developments in aerospace technology from our industry partners, and you will hear from some of the most distinguished national personalities who will share with you their views on national defense and their formulas for innovation and success. In 1946, the Air Force Association since 1946, the Air Force Association has been and continues to be your professional organization. We work with the United States Congress, the national media, and local communities all across the country to advocate for a strong national defense, for our airmen and for Air Force families, and to provide professional education opportunities for the next generation of aerospace leaders. Whether we serve for 4 years or for 35 years, or in my case, for 44 years, we are airmen for life. I look forward to sharing the next 2 days with you. If there's anything we can do to make your visit here more pleasurable, please don't hesitate to ask. Before I turn it over to the chairman, I just ask all of you to look around, look at all the uniforms here in the room. This is what AFA is all about. This is what this conference is all about. It's about airmen. It's about innovation. For the first time, we actually have an overflow room, and so the place is packed. And so I would ask all of you airmen, all of you that are here, take advantage of this opportunity. When I was an airman, I didn't even know who the Chief of Staff was. You all have an opportunity to meet the Chief of Staff and actually talk to him and hear him talk. And so this is for you, and it's all about you and about innovation. So thank you once again for being here. Thank you for the large crowd. There's actually folks standing in the back. So we appreciate all of you being here. And now, Mr. Chairman, that's a wrap for me. Back over to you.